A person who doesn't do their best all the time, that is not a habit problem. That is a system problem. They have been allowed to, phone it in so many times that has become their default. If you're in the judgment mode, you've already made a decision about why the outcome happened the way it did.
One of the simplest transformations a leader can make to help their team grow is to just call everything they do practice. We talk about yoga practice, we talk about sports practice, we talk about music practice. We don't often talk about business as a practice. Fresh insights into what it means to lead today.
So let me ask you a tough question, because this is actually something I've been I've been toying. I call it noodling. Would you say that in some aspects, a leader's almost responsibility is to apply enough pressure for the habits of their team to be tested, not break, but be tested, so that way they know what they have when they need them most? Is that too far-fetched of an idea? Because again, I'm not trying to say that you're supposed to go out there and whip people and beat them with sticks, and apply pressure, but isn't a leader's role designed to try to get the best out of people? And if people aren't tested, and again, I don't mean people, but if the habit, right? Because again, I want to differentiate. A person who doesn't do their best all the time, that is not a habit problem. That is a system problem. They have been allowed to, phone it in so many times that has become their default. So therefore, we've allowed them to just get away with, kind of lazy effort, where having a leader come from a place of curiosity. I'm a huge Ted Lasso fan. I don't know if you are or not. I love the show. From the standpoint of, it seemed like most of the places he came from when he was trying to understand either, assistant coaches or team members or the owner, he was coming from a place of curiosity, not a place of judgment, even when things were terribly against him. And I love that concept, because I don't think you can hold judgment in your mind and be curious at the same time. I don't think you could do both. Because one, if you're in the judgment mode, you've already made a decision about why the outcome happened the way it did. Where curiosity is back to your kind of tiny experiments. I think as a leader of teams, I almost wonder if some of those tiny experiments have to be applying pressure in different ways to test either the team's habits or to test the individual's habits, because the only way that they're going to become stronger is by being tested. Is this making sense, or am I totally off base?
Yes, 100%. This is one of the simplest transformations a leader can make to help their team grow, is to just call everything they do practice. We aren't doing a sprint of development work these next 2 weeks. We aren't working towards these two goals. We are practicing how to deliver software, how to build marketing collateral, how to run our business as an executive team. Because, again, if it's just practice, there's no success or failure. Mm-hmm. It's, what did we do? What did we learn from that? What do we want to change differently next time to discover what happens? And another aspect of practice is building all the metaphorical muscles and physical muscles. Mm-hmm. Ingraining those habits of, this is how I type. This is how I work with AI to build the code, develop the feature, write the story that is my focus right now. This is how I interact with the other people on my team to help us all gain a shared and understanding of what it is we're trying to do here and how we're going to approach it. Because as you said, and as you experienced at Nationals, when stuff gets hard, all that's left is are those habits. We don't have the time, the energy, the resources to think our way through, to reason, to intuition our way through. All we have left are our habits. And if we have spent all of our time building habits of, this is what I do when I feel stressed, to reset and to reconnect with my logic, my intuition, my sources of wisdom, the people, and other places that help me know what to do next, then that becomes a habit. And we are able to still do that even in the most crushing of circumstances.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We talk about yoga practice. We talk about sports practice. We talk about music practice. We don't often talk about business as a practice. If we want business to really succeed, then we need to approach it as, this is a thing that I'm just here to practice. I'm doing my scales. I'm doing my laps. I'm doing my writing for 15 minutes, even though I don't know what to write about. I'm doing my 5 pages of typing ACT, DCT to build up that muscle memory of where the keys are on the keyboard. It's the same thing. I'm running my 1800th marketing campaign, and I'm varying this one thing this time to experiment with what happens. And it's all just a practice. It doesn't matter what happens.
So I love the concept. Can I push back a little bit? Okay. I think that conceptually, I think it works great for any member of the team that is what I would say growth minded, right? Like their goal is to grow. Their goal is to become better. Their goal is to adapt and to remove the ego and be less vulnerable because, hey, I don't know everything, right? Like that all totally makes sense. What do you do for the team member who, for whatever reason, is just not going to acknowledge almost the goal of like the practice in and of itself? So then, therefore, practicing, like they're not in, there's no desire, there's no will to get better. They're happy with like the level of effort that they're putting in.
This is one example of reframing in terms of their context. There is something that they care about.
Okay.
Probably more than one thing, but there's at least one thing that they care about, that they would do anything in the world to make happen. If we have a conversation with them to understand what that is, then we can help them understand that what we're asking them to do, how that fits, how that moves that along. And if it turns out, which I've never seen happen, but if it happens to turn out that there is 100% negative alignment between what they want and what you're asking them to do, maybe they're not the right fit for that particular task, for that role, for your company. And maybe you're doing, each of you, the best thing that you can do by helping both of you recognize that this is the case and then mutually deciding how to move forward with it. Okay. If they can't get another job for whatever reason and they can't just quit, and so they have to stay there in that job, then they have incentive to work with you to find a way to make it work for both of you. If you, as the leader, are willing to have that conversation and work through that, then you're way more likely to get useful outcomes out of that conversation than if you just go in and say, this is what you got to do. And they say, I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to leave either. So I'm stuck between two rocks. And they become that hard place for you for as long as you're there.